Hello, welcome to Intuitive Insights School of Intuition podcast. Today, our topic is Healer, Heal Thyself. And we're joined with Corey Davidson, the #1 clairvoyant teacher in the United States. Welcome, Corey.
Thank you, Vessa, the #1 psychic in the United States with the #1 school in the United States, worldwide, really.
Yes, we have gone international.
Yes.
And we have our special guest today. We have Dawn Trygstad joining us, and she's been doing psychic readings for over 40 years. And in 2007, she got the license to touch as a Chinese medical massage therapist. And she uses intuitive touch to help highly sensitive people heal. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you. What a pleasure to be here. Nice to see you both and everybody else.
Well, Dawn, I know you have so much training, and I know we're going to do a little teaching later on in the show today, the podcast today, about how to heal yourself. But is there anything you want to start out by telling us about yourself or about your practice or about just being able to intuitively touch and know something?
Well, most people have heard of acupuncture, maybe had acupressure. And the way all those points were found was with hands by sensitive people. Turns out everybody can do that. Not everybody knows it, but everybody can use their own psychic abilities, their own intuitive touch to heal themselves and others. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Well, I always joke and say, James Bond has a license to kill. I have a license to touch. Mine's more fun.
You have a license to heal. Yeah.
I do.
Well,
I do.
You know, and one of the things we do in the psychic tools class, the intuitive tools class, is we rub our hands together, and then we have a ball of energy kind of come out of our hands. We have everyone do it, and then we hand the ball of energy to the next person, and they feel your energy. Then they hand it back, and when you get your energy back, sometimes someone else's energy is in there, but people can really start to feel the energy. Is that what you're talking about with energy in the hands and sensing?
That is what I'm talking about with energy in the hands and our own ability to feel it, feel our energy, feel other people's energy, feel neutral energies that we can heal with. I am at my friend's ranch today, so we just had a truck go by and my dog is barking. But Bailey, that's enough. Thank you.
Wow, that's an obedient dog.
Well, sometimes.
So how does this work? Do you sense pain in people's bodies, or how do you get a sense of where to go intuitively, and you get an intuition about the energy in the body?
It's
right?
An interesting thing. In Chinese medicine, we are taught to look for the harmony first. So when I put my hands on somebody, I'm first looking for their own harmony. Where is the energy flowing and where does it feel right? And then I'm going around the body and feeling maybe some places where it's stuck. We talk about a river in Chinese medicine. Where there is pain, there is no movement. Where there is movement, there is no pain. So we're trying to get things flowing. Just like in the classes, we're teaching the earth and cosmic energies flowing. The Chinese meridians flow very similarly to those energy channels.
Wow, that makes so much sense, because sometimes when I'm reading someone, as I'm sure with you, Corey, when you're teaching people how to read in the clairvoyant class, I look for the brightest color or the pastel color, not the dark, but sometimes when I'm going to heal them, I'll say, I love the brightest color, the pastel. Then I look for the dark color and I just ground that out, and the person can heal themselves. Isn't that sometimes what you do, Corey?
That's exactly what I do.
Okay. All right. And so, Dawn, tell us more. I know you had healed yourself from long-term COVID, and you kind of came full circle from that.
I did. I was one of the lucky ones. I got COVID with a direct Wuhan connection on February 2nd, 2020. So by the time everybody else was closing down and staying home, I was pretty sure I was going to live, which was good news. And then I had the full adventure and had long COVID for quite a few years. And I used acupressure as one of my main tools with some supplements and herbs and a few other things to help myself heal. And now I'm helping other people with long COVID and mast cell disease and some other chronic inflammatory diseases and autoimmune diseases to heal themselves. And that's kind of a fun coaching thing that I'm doing. I'm working with a doctor right now. And sometimes when he gets an interesting patient, he calls me up and asks me to do a little bit of reading. It's not exactly a medical intuitive. I don't call myself that, but that's pretty much what I'm doing. And we read the person and figure out what could be helpful.
That is amazing. That sounds great.
I'm mostly better now.
I know your dad's a doctor, a medical doctor, right? And does he support you on this?
He does. Many years ago, when you and I were studying at the Berkeley Psychic Institute, and you were a pastor there, my dad was afraid I was in a cult. And so we had a long conversation, and eventually he realized that I wasn't going to change my mind about studying to use my psychic abilities. And he went to Esalen, and he took a class on self-healing, and he came back and healed his shoulder. And from then on, he would introduce me as my daughter, Dawn the Psychic. She got her abilities from me.
Wow. That's quite a turnaround from someone who thinks you're in a cult for someone who goes along with that. That is amazing story.
Yeah.
Well, Corey, did you want to add anything or ask Dawn any questions?
Well, not right at the moment. But I keep talking because I'm fascinated.
Okay.
When I come up with a question, I'll raise my hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dawn, so many types of acupressure, holistic healing. You've got things to help you with points when there's pain, different ways to feel things. I know you've just been trained in dozens of styles. And I wonder maybe if you could demonstrate something. I don't know if it's too soon in the podcast to do that, but do you have some little thing you can teach us about?
I have 3 points that I teach almost everybody. So let's go.
Okay, well, use us as your students. We're ready.
Start by rubbing your hands together. Maybe find your body, pat it. Hello, body. Body's always in present time. Spirit can be anytime, any place. And start to feel as you rub your hands together, just maybe put them close, not so close. Feel that chi, feel that energy. And somewhere in there, you'll start to feel it. There you go. And then along your fingertips, you'll notice some special magical points, 10 of them, as a matter of fact. Almost everybody has 10. I guess some people have 11 or a few less. And then a lot of people think that there's a headache point. I don't know. Let's see if you can see my hand here.
I've heard that.
Wrap right here. But where it actually is along the hand here, and it moves a little bit sometimes. It's about right there. And this is called Hoku, and it's the master point for pain in the body. And you can do all kinds of things to it. You can go up, you can go down, you can go around both ways. You could tap it, you go back and forth, scratch it. Or you could
is it on this knuckle that's kind of
It's kind of below the knuckle, between the knuckle and where the thumb comes out. And if you feel in there, in martial arts, they use the same point. If you press in there, at some point, you'll find a tender spot.
Okay, so it's a little bit higher up than the traditional headache spot. They say, well, a lot of people way down there.
Think it's here, but it's actually right here.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And, if you're in the general area, we say in acupressure, if you're within the size of a quarter, you're close enough.
Okay, and is it on the right hand or the left hand or both?
On both. Everything almost in Chinese medicine is both sides. So if you poke around in there, you'll probably find one a little bit more tender than the other. If you have any pain anywhere in your body, this is a really good point to know. And feel your fingers, because you'll feel the chi kind of flowing through one finger into that point. Because we all have spiritual abilities, intuitive touch. And
you know what I was going to say, what's very interesting is that I got stung by a bumblebee, big one, probably 10 days ago. And I can feel it more in this hand
Yeah.
than the other hand.
Yeah.
So you're right, just to validate what you were saying.
Yeah. So probably the chi is a little stuck there in the shui, the blood and the fluid, and just holding that point, kind of, maybe circling a little bit, you'll feel it stop hurting. It's quite amazing the way that it works. Yeah.
There you go. Yep. There you go.
The great thing about Healer Heal Thyself and self-healing is you always have your hands with you. You never forget them. So no matter what's going on, you can heal yourself.
Great. Do you have anything else to teach us?
I do. There's two other points. In Chinese culture, they almost always have two walls around a home compound, an outer wall and an inner wall. So there's an outer gate and an inner gate. And there are points called the inner gate and the outer gate. So along your hand, you will find there's a major line here. And if you put your third finger there and get your index finger here to some point kind of in the middle, it'll be between two tendons. That's the inner gate. And if you put your thumb there, kind of where your finger goes on the other side, this is a pericardium point, and this is a triple wormer point. The other one was large intestine meridian. And those are called the inner and outer gates. Now, right now, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. And I call these the boundary points because it's like 911. It helps you instantly get everything that's not yours out of your space. It calls your bubble in, your aura in around you, and it just defines your own space. Magical boundary points, the inner and outer gates. And it helps you be really clear on what energy do you want to let in an outer gate? What do you want to let in an inner gate? And what is just for you? And it's on both sides. If you poke around in there, you'll feel some kind of tender, probably.
Am I right? About right there?
Yeah, about right there. That's the point. And then on the other side where your index finger goes is the outer gate. Yeah, there you go.
So do you press them at the same time?
Yeah, I always hold them at the same time. So you can kind of see probably how I have them both like this, and I hold them. And if you just sit there really quietly, it is almost an instantaneous way to find your space. It's like the salad spinner, lets everything out of your space that's not yours and just brings you into your body.
So in other words, you call this the boundary 911. So if you feel like you've absorbed other people's energies in your field or in your aura or in your body, or you just feel overwhelmed, that's a non-psychic term we use. Grab the wrist right there between those two tendons and start to give it a rub on both sides. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And simultaneously, you can ground, you can bring in gold suns, and you can, reset your protection rows, but it's just kind of nice to have a physical way to validate what else you're doing.
Okay, I like that. Boundary 911. Great.
Boundary 911. I have all my silly names for everything.
Okay. And then let's go to the third thing you wanted to teach us. You said something that was good for the lungs. So there's a lot of forest fires.
Lungs and for immune system. So your collarbone will go right along here. And right from the center line, what we call too soon, about 2 fingers over, right under kind of diagonally from the hole there, you'll find a tender spot about here. There's 2 tender spots. It's called Shufu or Shu Mansion. Shu is about energy moving. And it's the master point for the immune system. It's good for the lungs. It'll clear out the lungs. Some people have a little bit of smoke in the air right now. Because of wildfires, it's always good to have an easy point to clear out the lungs. And it's
a little sore there. It's a little sore when I start to rub that.
Often sore there. It's often sore if it needs some attention and some love. And feel your fingers, feel your own intuitive touch. Feel yourself just letting things start to move there. How's that feel?
Yeah. So do you use your first finger and second finger, or it doesn't matter?
I usually use my middle 3 fingers, but it can be just 1 finger. feel what the different fingers feel like, because different fingers are more fiery and more watery, more yang and more yin. But so different, you might find different fingers feel better on different days. There's no right way to heal yourself.
Okay.
There's your way.
Okay. And then this is to clear the lungs. This is to
Clear the lungs and to stimulate the immune system.
okay. When I stayed over once at the Optimum Health Institute in San Diego, they had us tap here.
Yes, they're common.
And to try to stimulate the immune system by just tapping right there. So as we walked around every day and did that.
Exactly. Well, they're almost all of the tapping exercises are on acupoints.
Mm-hmm. Great. So you actually go around the country and you do this type of work on people, or they can come to you in the Bay Area, right? Or
well, I live in Mendocino County now as my home base, but I do have a place that I can practice there. I don't expect to be there for about 8 months. At this point, we're just starting a trip around the country. We're living the life of our dreams in a travel trailer, going all over the place. Something I've wanted to do for many, many years, and now I am. So, yep. But, everywhere I go, people like massage. Everywhere I go, people want to know about their own intuitive healing touch. And there's a lot of fun to be had.
Yeah. Okay. So then I was going to ask you a little bit about when you're touching someone and you're reading them intuitively. Do you have any tips for body workers out there where they could learn to read energy in someone's body, or maybe you're just giving your loved one a little massage?
That's a great question. Most body workers and most people giving massage are going to get impressions. And what I always tell people is when you have an idea or an impression, let it sit there for a minute, let it come into focus, and then ask yourself, do you want to share this or not? Because sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. And then ask the other person, I have this idea as I'm touching you, would you like to hear? Because some people don't want to hear it, some people do. But it's amazing the things that come to us as we're touching somebody's body, experiences they might have had, injuries they've had, something they're working on. Sometimes past lives come up. All kinds of things come up when we touch people's bodies because as spirit, hopefully, at least a lot of the time, we occupy our bodies. And so there's all kinds of information there.
Okay. And
what kind of things have you noticed when you give people massages?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Well,
if you love a massage at some point.
One thing I notice is that I used to have a boyfriend of mine who would say, he goes, so I have a headache. Would you please please put your hands on my head? Because, and I noticed this was before I had psychic training of cleaning out my hands or cleaning it. And I would put my hands on his head and he would instantly get rid of the headache, but I felt like I had stuff on my hands. I was like, oh. And so he would always come to me and goes, I have a pain here. Can I take your hand and put it on there? And he would try to get my hand on the side, the shoulder, his head, and it would pull the energy out. I would pull, I was like a human sponge.
Yeah.
So, I've learned since several tools to protect myself when I went through my clairvoyant training, hence started a school. But what do you do? Do you ever feel like you're picking up energy? And how do you get the energy out? Or do you feel like that sometimes?
Energy happens. Mostly I'm trained not to do that as much, but even after many years of study and practice, it still happens. So some things that I do, well, in the clairvoyant program at Intuitive Insights, you'll learn a whole bunch of different tools. A simple one is to have a rose draw the energy out and then pop it like a balloon. Another one, I just go like this. If I absolutely can't get something out for some reason, believe it or not, cold water. One of my shaman teachers taught me to put my hands under cold water, and that helps.
And And how about you, Corey? You're as a clairvoyant teacher, sometimes you'll pick up people's energy a little bit. How do you clean it out? Anything you want to say about that? I know
Well,
you teach a bunch of tools, but go ahead.
yeah, what's so interesting is, I generally have a class the night before we record this. And the conversation often coincides with either what I was teaching or a conversation I was having with a student. And like one of the things to get the energy off is to just release it down to Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Just releasing. I love how you were talking about the rose, pulling it out with the rose. And I loved how you said that, the cold water. For me, I set what we call a grounding cord into Mother Earth. I set it in the beginning of the day. So at any time if energy gets on me, I just release it. I set the intention. Just Mother Earth, you take it.
Yeah.
Just you take it.
I have a little 2-minute meditation. I'd love to do that, kind of piggybacks onto what you said, Corey, if that's okay with all of you.
That'd be great, please.
Okay. Well, one thing I noticed is that energy kind of has a vibration, and sometimes it has a color. So I'll close my eyes and I just kind of get a sense of myself, sense of the aura, sense of the energy around. And I kind of get a sense of the colors. And then I just do what Corey mentioned, was that put that grounding cord that has gravitational pull. We're in this gravity pulling planet that's a healing planet, and the planet pulls the energy down and into itself. That's the way the planet kind of heals people. So we've got this gravity here. So I just start to let go of all the dark colors in my space. I just let go of all the dark black. And I just pull all the blacks like sludgy tar down into the earth. Then all the dark green. Oh, maybe there's like dead leaves, dark green. Get the gravity pulling all the dark green, like you're throwing a big green garbage bag down the grounding chute. And then I say, oh, what's the next color? Maybe dark red. Dark red, maybe red and black. Just kind of imagine that being like a firecracker going down, and the gravity pulling all the dark red out of your space. It's basically any color that's dark in your space, and sometimes bright white, is not your energy. So anything dark. So dark brown. Let's just say there's a mixture of different shades of brown. Let's kind of just shake it off and just let the gravity pull out all the brown that's not your energy, down into the earth. And right about now, we're starting to be emptied out. So we always want to replenish our energy. So right up above you, just go ahead and put a big golden ball. And we're going to put a gigantic magnet in it. The magnet that, as if you turn on this turbo magnet, and it just calls your energy back. Your bright pinks, your bright blues, your bright browns, your bright greens, all the bright colors that you gave away. And I kind of have the golden sun neutralize the energy, kind of burn off anyone else's energy, just be a little bright ball of gold. Then I kind of dump it like a pitcher of water into the top of my head, down the body, replenish all the places you just released from, all those dark colors. Let it go into your arms and legs and organs, and also your aura. Just fill up the aura about 2 feet around you, and maybe some of it even goes down the grounding cord that you're connected to the earth with. And then when you're ready, you just kind of open your eyes, and then you might notice you're a little clearer, or you're just suddenly aware more of your body, or you just got rid of something. And sometimes I'll see people's faces come up, and it'll just like I'll start thinking of something, and I'll just go, oh, that's someone's energy. And just kind of, sometimes I even drift off with the photograph and the thought of someone, and then I go, oh yeah, I'm doing a meditation. You just kind of come on back wherever you are, and then just keep going from when you kind of wake up. What are we doing when we're waking up? We come back in our body. That's another way of saying we're waking up. So yes. So how did you like that? Anyone?
That was wonderful. It was lots of a good release. Thank you. It reminds me, one of my very first meditation classes, the teacher had us do something fun that just has such stuck with me about letting go. How I'm going to use my glasses as an example, but we used crayons in the class, and how a lot of times, you're holding on to something, you don't realize it. And so we practice with crayons. I'm going to practice my glasses in my lap. Let go. It just drops. So I really enjoyed how you reminded us that we live on a planet where gravity is always there. If we're willing to let go, Mother Earth takes it and recycles it.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. So Dawn, what are your plans for your future as a healer?
I told my husband I could not travel without a massage table. So I have a massage table. So I do plan, I get my massage table out wherever I go and give people massages. Every so often I get a chance to teach people how to use some of their own abilities. We're going to be going, I lived on Rosebud Indian Reservation as a little kid for a few months, and we're going to go back there. We're heading back in that direction over the next few months. And Thanksgiving in Kentucky with our son.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's quite the journey, right?
So you're taking it on the road. You're taking
I'm taking it on the road.
Taking it on the road.
America needs intuitive insights and intuitive abilities, and I'll be sending people to the Clairvoyant program to learn how to use their own abilities.
Well, thank you for that. And if someone watching this is going to be in one of the places Dawn said she's going to be, then maybe you can meet up with Dawn and experience one of the gifts that she has to offer you to help you heal yourself. And I really do love the title Healer, Heal Thyself, because a lot of times people give it away, and then they don't replenish their energy, and they might die, or they might just not be able to function. I have a lot of people that come in the Intuitive Insights School of Intuition, and they have this condition called agoraphobia, where they can't really be around people because sometimes you go out in the world and there's a lot of people throwing energy around. They're not really aware. Maybe the person's having a bad day and they throw energy and they throw energy, and these people don't realize it, but they're so sensitive. They have to stay inside all the time, and they don't have to live like that their whole life. If they learn some tools of protection, roses, or protecting them, then themselves, and replenishing their energy of using these different modalities, then the person can function out in the world. They might be able to have a job to go to and have friends over and that sort of thing too. But I think it's quite common nowadays. There's so much energy, and we're very high density population. So energy gets thrown around. So yeah, you can. I like to think of it sometimes as we're unhandicapping people. They were kind of handicapped, and then we unhandicap them.
Helping people to
have
their own
Corey,
abilities, their own energy, to be able to follow their own path.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Well, go ahead, Corey.
No, go ahead.
What were you going to say? Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to thank Dawn for being on the show and taking your time to come join us. And you too, Corey. Always a pleasure to have you two on the show. And we'll maybe talk to you again sometime. Dawn, thanks for coming on.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
All right.
Yes, keep in touch with your, on your journey. Let us know how you're doing.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Vessa. Good. And thank you, Vessa, so much for having this podcast. I really appreciate you.
What an honor.
It is.